What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Techno Talk. Today we are joined by Kanya Lima, aka Kanyeezy. This man is a resident of Fool's Gold and The Meeting Place, and is second to none when it comes to his house and Afro style. First of all, I'd like to give a shout out to our alcohol sponsor, Uncles, and also to Fool's Gold for letting us use their lovely venue. Fool's Gold is the grooviest and funkiest place to be, and is sure to get you moving with DJs such as this man on the deck. Kanya, welcome, bro. How you doing?
I'm good, man. Thank you for having me, bro. Really cool to be here.
I'm glad, bro. So obviously, I know your style. I've watched you play many times. And for those that don't know you, do you want to just talk a bit about your style and how you got into music?
Obviously, so my style is kind of like, I don't like to confine myself to one genre, but I like to go into sort of, a lot of house music. My background is based on like house music.
Yeah.
But then obviously I go into variations of it, Afro house, a bit of Afro tech sometimes. But obviously, a nice electronic sound, house sound with a sort of Afrocentric focus to it. So yeah, that's the sound that I like kind of go for.
Yeah.
The sort of sound I dig. And how I got into it, I've always loved music. I love lots of kinds of different music. Love rap, but in terms of like house music, like that's just a different like feeling, like a different vibe. And I've always liked it for that because there's only a few people that sort of like get it.
Yes, that's crazy because James and I was speaking in the first podcast. And we were actually talking about Stellenbosch and the music scene.
Yeah.
And like just in terms of Afro, like it's like maybe like 5% of the music here.
Literally, you won't catch it often.
Yeah, you won't.
Catch it often at all.
But that's what also makes you stand out, which is really cool. What's crazy about you is I can walk into a room and from one song I know who's on the deck.
Yeah, shout out.
I remember there was a time I walked straight into Fools and you were playing a Da Capo song. I think it's Land of
Kush.
Crush. Yeah. Oh my word, what a track. And I knew this man's on the deck.
Yeah, shout out. So yeah, bro, like I've always loved music. And then in terms of how I got into DJing, so I have a friend who stayed in academia in 2018. 2018, that was my first year,
Yeah.
So one of my best friends and I, Oliver, it's a guy that stayed in his block downstairs. He was a DJ. His name's Dane. Shout out Dane. And he was just like, "You guys want to learn how to DJ?" We just went there, and at first it was so foreign. I was like, I do not get this at all. It was super difficult, but it was still cool. I enjoyed the challenge. I enjoyed like getting to learn this new skill. And in a few months, I was there, but we didn't really carry on and didn't get any gigs.
Yeah.
And then my one friend,
as it is,
you know what I'm saying?
Start,
So my one friend Oliver and I were like, "Bro, when we get enough money, we're gonna buy some decks, and we're gonna like get this down." And then, beginning of 2019, we got some decks, and then we played our first like party in academia. It was a block party.
Yeah.
And it went off, and since then, you got the bug, and it's like, ever since you play in front of a crowd, it's like you don't want to stop. You just want to keep doing it.
I can relate to that.
So yeah, that's how I kind of got into it.
That's super cool. And obviously, we mentioned that you're a resident here at Fool's Gold. How did that come about? How did the relationship start? Same with Meeting Place.
Yeah.
So two very cool joints.
Yeah. So obviously, when you're DJing and playing, you want to have sort of like a residency, somewhere you can like sort of call home.
Yeah.
Where people can associate you to and like consistently on a consistent basis support you. And obviously, Fool's Gold was first the Loft.
The Loft.
Yeah. It was first
like
Hanks.
2 years ago.
3 years ago.
3 years ago. Yeah.
It was first called Hanks. It was like an Irish bar. But then that ended, and then my roommate at the time actually said Prentice and his mates, James Fourier, and then they made this place called The Loft, and they were throwing events here. And obviously he said was my roommate, and he put me on to a few gigs, and that time I was still playing with my friend Oliver.
Yeah.
So we were a duo called KO.
Kanya Oliver.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah, so we played here, and there were a couple of mad parties here, and then obviously Fool's Gold, and then The Loft ended, and then obviously Fool's Gold came into the scene. At first, I wasn't really involved, But then as time went by, I forgot now who said you must come play or do I want to come play. And then I met Dane, and then he's like, bro, do you want to be at resident here? I like your sound, whatever. And since then, I've been a resident since like pretty much the beginning.
Yeah.
And it's been super sick, man. Like it's been cool to see this place grow and like, you know, develop and evolve. And, you know, it's a really cool space, man. It's like a very safe kind of space. And it's a different vibe to what you find in Stellenbosch, man. Like,
Yeah.
And the fact that you can find different DJs playing different sounds on a regular basis is really
Yeah,
cool.
well, that was actually going to be something I wanted to ask you about. So, like, I mean, Fool's Gold is an extremely busy place.
Yo,
like,
bro.
feet in the door all the time.
Yeah.
And, like, same goes for DJs. There's always different DJs here. Like, how do you always change it up? Because, like, essentially, people are seeing you.
Yeah.
But the people that come in once a month, like Kong or, you know, those type of guys, like, they create a lot of hype because they're not there often.
Yeah.
But as a resident, how do you almost, you know, if this applies to anyone who is a resident, how do you, like, stay fresh?
So
how do you,
that's a very good question.
and maintain your identity? Because you don't want to compromise your sound.
Yeah, so that's a very good question because in the beginning, I actually struggled a bit because when you're a resident, you play quite often, bro. So it's like maybe sometimes, at times, it was even like twice a week at times or once a week. So you rack up gigs, bro, and like, you know, you kind of have to find a way to stay fresh. You don't want to sort of play the same songs. So now,
that's a big trap as well.
Because you can find yourself being like, you don't trust other songs because you have a reliance on songs that you know are tried and tested. So you stay in a sort of circle of playing the exact same songs. And bro, like sometimes it's tough, eh? Like, for example, when Osama came out, bro.
Oh my word.
So before it came out even, I saw Zakes play it at his Kunye.
Kunye, bro. James and I spoke about it as well.
So I was like, bruh, this track is massive.
It is crazy.
So I went to the Kunye recording, like the set itself.
Yeah.
And I memorized when the Osama song starts and when it ends. And I went and I cut it, bro.
That's cheeky.
And then even before it released, I played it here and it went off. And I was like, bruh, what's this song? I was like, this song is coming out soon.
Yeah, they marketed that song
unreal,
insane.
Bro.
Like, I remember watching Takapo. There was like a group of artists that had
the song. Yeah,
it was crazy.
Yeah. And it just every time you hear it, like, bruh, I need this song. And Zakes kept saying, it's releasing this date.
Yeah. But
so
back to staying fresh.
So just staying fresh. So I found ways in terms of like how I want to go about it. So there's a balance between am I going to play less or when I play, how am I going to structure my... And for me personally, I don't like to structure my sets. I don't like saying, okay, I'm playing for an hour and a half, an hour. I'm going to have these songs for this hour. I kind of just bring my stick and I kind of just feel the vibe and what kind of vibe I want to play and go accordingly to what I feel. Because I feel if I restrict myself to an hour-long set with an hour long of songs, bro,
you have no creative expression.
You know what I'm saying?
You've almost like, you've prepped it.
Yeah.
You might as well have recorded it.
You know what I'm saying? Exactly. So I listen to a lot of music. So I go through a lot of music every day. And I feel like that's basically how I stay fresh. Because I'm always on the hunt and look out for new music. But sometimes it's difficult. But yeah, that's how I sort of try and stay fresh.
But also what's cool is like, you have a musical element, I think, which is very important for DJs. You can feel if a guy's static. There's like everyone's got their own stage presence, but you can feel when someone's static.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and as for the meeting place, how did that start?
The meeting place. So the meeting place, I like that place, man. Like,
it's very low-key, actually.
It's so chill.
Yeah.
Man. It's so chill. Like, you could just go there with homies.
Yeah.
Chill, have a few drinks, have some food. And it's different. It's not like the sort of, not clubs, but bars.
Yeah, the generic normal place.
The normal places where it's like, alcohol, bit of upbeat music, like boop, boop, boop.
Yeah.
There, it's kind of like chilled, nice interior, plants, like it's a nice serene vibe.
Yeah.
Right? And they posted something on Instagram. I've always looked to play there. And they posted something, they said, we're looking for DJs. I DM'd the guys, like, yo, listen,
that's dope.
I've played at these places in Stellenbosch, and sometimes I've played in Cape Town, like, I'd love to play there. He was like, okay, cool, like...
Give you a shot.
Give me a shot, send me his number, Willis. And then started chatting, got into speaking about what I want to play. I was like, sick, bro, like, come through. And there, like, I like to play my house there, like,
Yeah,
deep, bro, like, nice, chill, deep house.
stay true sounds, yeah.
Exactly, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So there it's a different, more of a different, it's more my, where I like to play my more deep, deep sounds.
Yeah.
And it's so nice. It's like free, like you're allowed, you can play anything. Obviously not really techno.
Yeah, but I mean,
So
as long
like-
as you're in their vibe.
And I like rap, bro. So like sometimes,
Oh, just spin rap there?
bro, like sometimes, like, it's like go off, man. Like sometimes
That's
I'm a
crazy.
piano or like
Yeah,
dude, some
I'm a
chill-
piano's got a...
yeah, or some
presence
some
as
chill broken beats, some like K Tronada bounce vibes. It's like anything kind of goes there. And it's like
Yeah,
my
just
nice
good music.
good music.
good
So it's
music.
like my nice like change.
Yeah, that's actually super cool
Yeah.
because you want... Like, you don't want to play the same set at every different residency. But you still, want to be
Yeah.
true to yourself. So
You know what I'm saying?
that is super cool.
So yeah.
But yeah, it seems like you found... I mean, I remember when Fools opened up...
Yeah.
When Fools opened up originally,
Yeah.
like, it was like... They kind of birthed during COVID, bro.
Yeah, bro.
It was crazy.
Bro, this place was booming in COVID.
In
okay,
COVID. No,
booming,
like
yeah.
in COVID, but like, it started then,
yeah,
and
yeah,
it, like,
yeah.
it spread through the town, like
Yeah.
everyone knew Fool's Gold, but it was like September in 2020.
Yeah, literally,
Crazy, because
Nah.
I remember coming and I was like, what is this place? This is
bro,
mad.
madness.
And same goes to the meeting place. I don't know when they opened, but
Yeah.
I even emailed them long
Yeah.
ago because I saw that place and I was
Yeah.
like, this is cool.
So cool.
But it's very cool for a place to have like a clear identification.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
a Fool's vibe.
exactly.
And they obviously translated that to a festival,
Yeah.
the Fool's Day Out Fest,
Mad.
where they had an insane lineup of like Lazarus Man, Kid Funk, Thor Rickson,
Dawson.
What?
Kasim Latif and Leighton Moody back to back.
Insane.
Like-
insane. That must have been, it was a bit bleak. I couldn't go to that. But
Yeah, luckily I could go but I had cricket, so could-
which is something we'll speak about in a
Yeah,
bit.
yeah,
But I
yeah.
wanted to ask you, so that Fool's Day Out thing, who stood out to you? Which performer?
so I could only get there at like after Kasim Latif and Leighton Moody. So I caught a bit of Kid Fong sets, and then I saw Dawson set, Lazarus Man set, Thor Rickson, then obviously Kong and Cody Mayer played back to back as well. And for me, the set that stood out was Lazarus Man, because it was the second time I've seen him live. I've seen Kid Funk, I've seen Dawson live, but Lazarus Man brought like a certain freshness.
Yeah. Honestly, Lazarus Man and Sio. Do you know Sio?
Yeah, I know. So,
They're so unique. Like, it's like more people should do it, but it's cool that no one does.
No one does it.
Yeah.
And it's just like it's a different element, like
It's
to
a
music.
crazy
They bring
element.
like if you're able to connect with the crowd while speaking words and the music,
Yeah.
that is like it's so special, man. Like he was saying stuff about being in the moment, but not actually being in the moment, and saying what are your dreams, what are your hopes while playing this track, and like when the beat dropped, like he just said, I forgot what he said, but it was just like the way he engages with the crowd.
Yeah. No, it's crazy.
insane.
I remember my cousin and I actually put on the TV, we were watching one of his Mix Lab sets.
Yeah.
Have you seen those Mix
Yeah,
Lab
yeah,
sets?
yeah,
He's
yeah.
like a presenter for them, but he was playing.
the lab in Joburg.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah, the lab,
yes.
yeah.
When Julian
oh, no,
Gomez.
Mix Lab, sorry? Mix
It's-
Mag.
Mix Mag. the
Mix
lab,
Mag,
yeah,
yes.
Yeah.
So, bro, and he's like, the song breaks, and then he almost starts speaking about like love, but then
Yeah.
he references it to like Chicken Licken. It was crazy. No, he's a top performer. Yeah.
And then obviously you gotta love Dawson, and I love Kid Funk. He's like the godfather of house music in South Africa. So
yeah. You know something interesting about him actually. Okay, obviously we know he nurtures a lot of talent through
Yeah,
Stay True and
yeah.
everything. But I was listening to a podcast of his,
Yeah.
and he actually he worked in England for like a year.
Yeah.
And but this is back when there was just vinyls.
Yes.
And he went and bought all these vinyls and brought them back to South Africa, and no one else had this music. So he was like a standout performer,
Yeah.
which is really cool. But he was
Yeah.
young. He was like maybe 19, 20.
Yeah, that's another story.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like very young.
very young.
And then for the listeners that don't know, this man is a professional cricket player.
Well, trying.
Trying,
Trying.
but like top.
Yeah.
Yeah, just speak a bit about that, bro. We want to get to know you.
Yeah, so obviously I play cricket. I've always played cricket like for a very long time, since junior school. And yeah, man, cricket, it's just a game I love. And obviously, by playing, I play for Maltese, and then there I got a chance to play for Boland. And then from there, I've gotten the chance to play for the Rocks, which is a professional team.
That's top.
Unreal experience, dream come true. I've always wanted to play professional cricket. But obviously it's very difficult. It's a top level. So you also have to lift up your game and I'm a very competitive guy. So, it was very special for me to get to that point and play. But yeah, we're still trying, we'll see how it goes. But obviously juggling that and a lot of other stuff, academics as well, and DJing. Obviously cricket and academics are my priorities. But yeah, man, got a lot of love for the game. And it's interesting, man. A lot of people ask me, how do you do that? And then still be able to
time
DJ and you gotta be able to do it. You gotta make time for the things you love, man. So.
Well, yeah, I was actually, that raised an interesting point because where's the balance between, obviously cricket must take a lot of your time and a lot of your energy. I think energy is the main thing.
Energy is the main thing, yeah.
And now, you can have a gig a night after, you can have a gig after training or something like that. What is your stance on the whole networking thing as an artist? Because, some you get some introverts, Avicii was a hectic introvert, but he had good music. But now, can he further his career?
You see what I'm saying? So, for me, in terms of that, because obviously cricket and academics are my priorities.
Yeah.
I love DJing. I love music. So, for me, I always see, I kind of still do, DJing as a hobby.
Yeah.
So at first I didn't really have interest in doing it properly, try and get gigs and network and try and put yourself out there. Because a lot of it is kind of betting on yourself.
A lot of it too,
exactly.
Not what you know.
Exactly. Yeah. So kind of just putting yourself in a position to be able to play at a certain place,
Yeah.
So, in terms of that, because I saw cricket as more of a priority or academics, I just see whatever gig I can get, I'll take it.
You'll take it.
So but now it's maybe I can do this for a bit more than a hobby.
Yeah.
Maybe a little side hustle.
But it's cool because you're also in a professional space.
Yeah.
It's not like you're a resident at a mate's pub. It's you're a resident at a very identified staple in Stellenbosch.
Yeah. So it's cool, man. But yeah, the energy part is difficult. Sometimes we're how many times I've had to say no to gigs or I have to consider because I'm playing tomorrow morning.
Yeah, or you're just over it, bro. Sometimes you need a break.
Then I'm you know what? I just can't play because cricket season. And the crazy thing is that cricket season is when it's in summer. And summer season is when DJs are getting gigs on gigs on gigs.
All the fests.
All the fests, all the outdoors.
Yeah, it's a different story.
So I miss out on a lot, bro. I miss out on a lot. But it's fine. I'm okay with it,
Well, you're not going to be able to do everything.
Yeah,
You've got
exactly.
to compromise.
I have to sometimes take the hit.
Okay, so then let me ask you this. If you had to go back in 3-4 years and talk to yourself, what advice are you giving yourself about your cricket career, your music career, your life?
In general, 3 years ago, if I look back, I'll just be just enjoy it, man.
Be present.
Just be present in the moment and enjoy it because there are so many steps in the past 3 years and goals that I've been able to tick off and and just be really stoked about, but just be more present in the moment and just enjoy the moment more.
Yeah.
And also just have fun, man. Sometimes in cricket, I've taken it a bit too seriously at times and then you don't perform as well as you want to.
Yeah.
But that's something I've seen in myself for the past year and I've tried to be more chilled about it. Not chilled, but still focused, but just enjoy it. Have fun.
Yeah.
And then in terms of DJing as well, I still kind of have the same kind of,
mentality,
youthful fun with DJing. I'm just trying to learn.
Yeah.
Because I'm learning every day. I learn from guys like you. I learn from other residents here, the other DJs that I go watch live. Just learning small things. I don't know everything.
How underrated is watching someone live?
Yeah.
Just in terms of learning and absorbing, bro.
And you hear small things, man.
Small things.
The other day I went to Cabo and I watched FK Mash.
Dude, I was in Joburg that day before. Was that Sunday?
Yes, it was that Sunday. Bruh.
He's insane.
And you know what the key thing for me here? So the DJ that was playing before him, I'm not gonna mention, but the DJ was really good, but I don't know, man. It didn't have the crowd. The crowd wasn't really too.
Yes, yeah.
And FK Mash played 2 songs.
Was it his glitch remix of Chinela?
Yes, Chinela. And by the second song, already people are saying, AFK, we want to party. Like, and the crowd is like invested, the crowd is in it. And I just noticed like, damn, it took this guy 2 songs
To unlock.
to unlock, basically. I'm just, you know?
But that's also the power of good production. Because,
Ah.
you know, I think him as a producer is insane.
Unreal.
I've only watched him a few times DJing,
Yeah.
but like, to stand out a producer, I mean, his
Yeah.
glitch, like that.
The
literally
glitch.
that Chinele, bro. Din,
Dun, dun.
it's too good.
Bruh, and that song, bruh, it's been killing it for like, bruh, since last year, end of last year, like, it's just been up every time it plays, it just goes in, bruh.
You know, I think it's so important that we start getting these proper experts and professionals out there, like FK and Mash.
Bro, like, and that's why I respect Kid Fong so much.
Yeah, because he tried.
Because he tries.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, like, sometimes I play these songs in here, or Stellenbosch, or wherever, and people don't know it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm like,
people don't know it. But then you hear FK Mash play it, like, or Leighton Moody and Kasim Latif play it, We Are Sunday. And like, those are house music fans. Like, those are people that live and breathe house music.
Yeah.
It's a small community. It's not as big as I feel like it should be. But everyone knows the song and everyone like goes off and in at, like, to the song. So it's like crazy. Like, it's like you see where the song, the kind of music reaches different places and different, you know, areas. So like,
but that's the power of like having a tight-knit community, especially, I mean, there's so many different pockets in the South African scene. A lot of people don't understand that. Like, you know, when people start this journey of discovering the South African music scene, there are so many pockets of like artists. And like, if you just go look at Stay True, how many different artists they have, it is ridiculous. That's one label.
That's one label.
One label. It is insane. And then you obviously have the like different genres, but I'm just saying within like a specific genre.
Yeah.
And there's just crazy room. I mean, I think the South African scene's been building for a while.
Bro, it's for me the capital of house music.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Personally, no, genuine, bro. And like, there are a lot of artists around the world who will say the exact same thing.
Yeah, honestly, South Africa, the music scene's been, I don't want to say it's booming.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's deep because it's not booming because the artists still don't earn a lot if you compare it to like Europe or something.
Exactly.
But like, just in terms of quality, it's up there. It really is.
Nah,
it's
definitely,
up there.
definitely.
And I mean, Lazarus Man's testament to that.
Yeah. Bro, and bro, like, you see the collabs he does, bro. Like, he's collabing with big artists, Stimming.
Yeah, Stimming.
He was also there at Carvel.
I watched him in,
Mind blowing.
Mind blowing, bro. His production also.
Oh.
No, but what I wanted to say about Lazarus Man, I think he's the 3rd South African now ever to be nominated for a Grammy.
Serious?
He featured on a song with another artist.
Yeah.
Can't remember who. But that album was nominated for a Grammy.
I should remember seeing something like that. Yeah,
that's big, bro.
Insane.
South Africa represent there.
Insane.
Yeah. And so you say you gig every week or with Residency and all this?
I try to do every week, but sometimes during cricket season it's very tough.
Yeah.
It's sort of like I try to do every week.
I wanted to ask, so have you had any awkward encounters, any ugly gigs, any crazy fans?
Hey, dude, like, it happens. But I think the only sort of like, obviously there are a lot of crazy stuff, like people requesting music.
Yeah, the standard.
Like the standard, can you please play throwbacks? But you can hear the vibe that's playing here. How are you going to ask for this question? But you try to be as nice as possible with it. But there was this one time, I'm not going to mention the place. I played a gig there. Oliver and I, my guy used to DJ. We played a gig, KO, I'll still do it. We played together. And we were playing at this place for first time. Like, we're excited, we're like, okay, cool. We're playing. And then I think it's one of the owners. He comes up to us. He comes up to me. He's like, bro, you know what, like, genre, I think you should play, like, I think you should focus on, like, you know, Afro and, like, some quieter vibes. And I'm like, I tell her, what is this? What do you mean by that?
Yeah.
Bro, like, what do you mean by that? And he's a bit drunk. He's had a few drinks, man. So he says this, and I look at him like, what do you mean by that? He's like, yeah, I just think like you, like there's no one like you in Stellenbosch, like.
Hectic.
And I was like, oh. So I go back to Oliver, I'm like, bro, this guy, yo, I don't know what he's saying, bro. And then just after that, we were like, you know,
It ruined the atmosphere, bro. I mean,
and the thing is, we were so excited to play there. It's a place
Yeah.
we had been going to and we were keen to play. And then they said that, and we were like, nah.
nah.
Since then, we never played there again. But like,
And it's the owner, or
like the owner's partner, or he was
Yeah,
a bit
involved,
of, yeah, he was involved. Yeah.
Yo, bro. Yeah,
and
that's rough.
It was mad. Since then, I was like, you know what, that place not gonna see me again.
Shame, bro. But hey, it worked out for the better. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, we're sitting at Fools now.
Yeah, shout out.
Shout out. Yeah, okay. And just before we end off, if you had to pick one artist, okay, within the music you play, to do a collab with or a back to back at Fool's Gold, who's on the decks next to you at Fool's Gold?
Yeah, this is a good question. Yeah.
Good question, eh?
Okay, if I had to play deep house music,
yeah.
the person I wanted to play back to back with is Julian Gomez.
Dude,
Like-
what a king.
Like, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
That would be insane.
He's a king, yeah.
Yo, Julian. Legend.
I mean, obviously he has his hits, but
Yeah.
dude, his now okay, his production's great,
Yeah.
top world class,
Yeah.
but he knows how to read a crowd. That man,
It's beautiful, bro.
he knows how to read a crowd.
Yeah, he's insane. And then if I had to sort of go the Afro house,
Yeah,
that kind of vibe, like who wouldn't want to play back to back with Black Coffee, bro?
oh, of course,
You know, like that's
top
just
tier, bro.
that's just
Imagine if we had Fools
Bruh.
Gold, bro.
like
Shut up, Black Coffee,
Shut
bro.
up,
We
Black
want to
Coffee.
see us Fools, yeah.
come through, bro.
Yeah, no, that's crazy.
And
And then
then-
if you're spinning at the meeting place and you're playing rap, whatever, you have
Like
complete
kind of
freedom.
chilled, complete freedom.
Who's with you?
Oof, I haven't thought about this, because
Doesn't have to be a DJ. Who's on vocals for you?
oof, yes. Who can I think of now? Ooh, I know, Tyler the Creator.
It's out of the creator.
I just kind of chill. We just curate something, nice vibes, you know.
Big vibes.
Maybe Steve Lacey as well on the bass,
Okay.
you know.
Very dope.
So yeah, that would be my kind of choices.
Okay,
yeah.
perfect.
Yeah.
Well, Kanya, thank you so much for being on the show, bro.
Shout out.
Really
man.
appreciate it. And thank you so much to Fool's Gold for letting us film at their location.